Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today in LullaBy Talks. I was about to say welcome back, but this is actually our first interview in English, and thank you, Andrea, for being here. So we're going to talk about health. She's a sleep health coach, I'm sorry. So I'm going to ask her some questions about how to stay healthy, because as a mom, it's so hard sometimes. So Andrea, introduce yourself, and then we'll jump right into our questions.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm Andrea Vasquez. I'm from Colombia, South America. I'm a physician. I'm a primary care physician. And here I do functional nutrition. So, yes, I'm a health coach.
Perfect. And yeah, she's a Latina like me. So we actually bumped into each other in a networking event, and we decided to start like working on something together. Okay, so first question, because we don't want to make this very long. First question, what are 3 things besides what you eat and obviously working out that we already know, but what are 3 things to consider when you're trying to maintain a healthy body?
I think some of the best ways to keep your mind and body healthy, it's also to include in your routine some either meditation or some kind of mindfulness exercises, right? Because that will give you a resilient, you'll become more resilient, right? So that will give you more peace, more grounding. You will be able to make decisions easier, even when you eat or what you are gonna include in your routine, right? Also, I think the sleep routine is very important. To keep going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, and all the things that you of course work with your clients. That's something that you should include. And another one that we normally don't think about is toxins, right? Toxins in our food, in our shampoo, in our moisturizers, and things that we put in our hair. All those things are very important to keep in mind.
Wow, that thing about toxins is very important. I forget about all that sometimes. So you mentioned sleep, and that's like my expertise, but I focus on kids, right? And babies. But well, when your kids are sleeping good, you also are you're sleeping good too as a mom. So sleep and nutrition, how does sleep affect what you eat? Because I know that sometimes if I have a bad night with my kids, I know that the next day I'm going to be grumpy, I'm going to be hungry, I'm going to eat more carbs. But I don't know if that's just me, something like, or is it actually something happening inside me that's making me make this decision? So
well, it's not just
tell us
you.
about that.
Yeah, it's not just you, it's everybody really. And there's a lot of things going on when you don't sleep right. So this has to be with our hormones, right? We have a few hormones in our body. The hormones are the messengers in our body, right? So we communicate with the inside, our organs, our tissues, and also with the outside through our hormones. So when you don't sleep very well, there's 2 main hormones that get out of balance, right? The ghrelin, it's called ghrelin, is a hormone that will make you feel hungry, right? It will be released from your stomach and your intestines because they are empty. So for some reason, there's a lot of imbalances going on when you stop sleeping very well. So the ghrelin goes up. So it will make you feel hungry all the time. And the leptin is another hormone that will make you feel satiety. So that will make you stop eating. And that one will go down, right?
Wow.
So those are the main hormones that will get affected. But also when this thing goes for days, like you stop sleeping well for days, then your cortisol can start increasing, right? The cortisol is the stress hormone, the go, 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 or like the one that will help you respond until to stressful situations, right? So that will increase, and that will make you gain weight around your belly, but will also make you have cravings too. Also, your thyroid hormone will get imbalanced. So if you don't produce enough hormone in your thyroid, your whole metabolism is gonna be slower, right? So you're gonna be slower. The way you process and absorb nutrients is gonna be slower. The way you burn fat is gonna be slower. You might have constipation, right? So the serotonin, when you don't sleep very well, also decreases, and that's our like happiness hormone, right? So sometimes when you don't feel very well, you just turn to food to make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it's
Comfort
a whole,
food.
yes, comfort food. So it's a whole situation that happens in your body when you don't sleep. It's not just because you feel tired and you feel bad.
Wow, that's so interesting. I didn't know there was this huge like actual fact about it. And that's why I try to make that's why I do what I do, because it's not just about the kids being able to sleep through the night, but also if your kids sleep through the night, then you will be able to sleep through the night and you will figure out the rest of like the other stressors and the weight gaining, etc. So that's so interesting. Thank you for all that information. And you mentioned hormones and weight. I think that I have heard a lot about hormone imbalance lately. I don't understand it quite well. You mentioned it very lightly. Okay, but most importantly, how do we know if we have that imbalance? Like, are there any signs that we can identify in ourselves to know, like, okay, maybe I should get that checked out?
Yes. So when you have hormone imbalances, the symptoms can be very unspecific. So you don't know, it's not that you can pinpoint it like right away, right? So for example, lack of sleep, or that you feel tired all the time and you can't wake up, and it doesn't matter if you sleep for 8 hours straight, you still feel tired, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes your hair you will be getting thinner, or you lose hair, or gaining weight, and you can, no matter if you eat well, if you were sleeping better, or if you are exercising, you still cannot lose weight, right? Your libido can go down, you can have acne, you can feel like slow brain fog. I mean, there's a whole, like I said, it's very unspecific. There's not just one symptom.
Mhm.
You just need to start like digging more deeply, because some of the symptoms that you won't expect can actually mean that you have some hormonal imbalance.
Okay, and is it something that you talked with your primary physician? Like, I think I have this, I need these exams or these labs, or like our primary
Yes.
physician will be able to guide us, right?
Yes, and women especially, for example, if your periods are out of normal, right? So if you were very regular and out of nowhere you're starting either missing your periods or starting getting heavier, like cramps, acne where your period, you start feeling like very moody before your period, um breast tenderness, all those things can also tell you that it might be a hormonal imbalance. So you just go to your primary care physician and you just tell the symptoms. Sometimes it's nothing really, because we all feel tired. We are always on the go, right? We don't rest well, we don't sleep well. But some other times you just started putting a bunch of symptoms together and they can just run some tests and you might find out that maybe you have some.
Okay, oh, that's so interesting. And yeah, I heard sometimes like we feel that it's normal, like having these changes in our periods or having cramps or having headaches, when sometimes it is not. So always tell our
Right.
primary physician when we feel, because we know ourselves better than anyone, right? When we feel that
And
something is off.
yes, and I would say at least go once a year for your annual checkup, right? And get like the basic labs. They will order you probably like cholesterol, triglycerides, glucose,
Okay.
like the normal stuff, and go to the gynecologist, I mean, for women, of course, to get all your pap smear and maybe get some hormones checked, right? So that way you can compare, because sometimes it's just fatigue, but sometimes you can just compare, okay, my labs were like this, This
Mhm.
year I keep feeling the same, and the next year they may change, right? So it's a good way to compare and to keep up with your health.
Okay. Okay, good. All this information is like too much, but so super useful. So as I started this interview talking about how sometimes for busy moms it's so hard to stay on track and have like a meal plan and just eat the right things. Because when I was talking to Andrea last 1 or 2 weeks ago, I was telling her like sometimes we know that we should eat certain amount of protein and carbs and fruit and lots of vegetables, and we know that we need to work out or whatever, but sometimes it just being a busy mom, life gets in the way. So what would be any tips that you have for busy moms like me when you cannot stay on track because you're busy? So any word of advice?
Yes, I think the main part is to have a schedule, right? Because we all have a schedule for our kids and the classes and the school, and I have to
Yeah.
pick him up and whatever, right? But you also have to have a schedule for your house activities. So, for example, my husband is at home Sunday, Sunday and maybe Saturday afternoon, right? So I'm going to ask him to help me out with the kids for a couple of hours, and then I go to the store and I can meal prep for a few days. That way, you don't have to be cooking nonstop during the week, or you're just going to the store because you forgot this, you forgot this other thing. You waste a lot of time,
I
right?
do that every time. I go to the store
Yeah.
like 5 times a week because I forget like one cilantro or one
Right.
apple or whatever.
Uh-huh. So
Time
that
consuming.
way you can actually sit down and write down your groceries list. You can prepare your menu. So for example, I'm gonna make I don't know, chicken salad and sandwich and whatever it is. You have that menu. So with that menu, you can organize the ingredients you will need and you can write them down. That way you
Yeah.
don't waste either time or money, right? The second step you should do is to write down when are you going to cook, right? You can cook for 2 or 3 days at a time. Then you cook and you put your stuff in little containers in the fridge, and that way you only have to take them out, just warm up, and continue with your activities. It sounds like a lot at once, and it
Mhm.
can be, but long term, it will save you a lot of time, and you can actually keep up with your routine, and you can have more time for other things, right? Because that's the problem. We're only doing little things all the time that we find ourselves not having time for anything else, right?
Yeah, and
But it's
sometimes we're
normally because
so
we're not organized.
like we respect so much our kids' time and their activities. Like it's nap time, I cannot go anywhere during nap time, or it's homework time or whatever. And if we put that much in priority to our health, like okay, every Saturday from 7 to 8, I am gonna cook, or I'm gonna sit down and do my grocery list, and that's like a family thing, and everyone compromises, and well, I feel like we'll get just prioritize on ourselves. That's a very good idea.
Hmm.
I have a schedule and I never include things, that kind of things for myself. So
And you have to think about other thing is like moms always put themselves last, right? But if mom is not okay, then who's gonna run the house and take care of the kids and do this and do that, right? So you actually have to prioritize those things so
mhm.
you can feel good and be in good shape to take care of everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. We always forget about that, and it's a great reminder.
Hmm.
So tell me 2 things that you do every day to stay healthy besides working out and eating a balanced meal, like other things that you do every day that you cannot miss.
For me, routine is very important because I mean, I'm not very strict, with it, but I do need to have certain things that I like to do. For example, I wake up at the same time and I go to bed around the same time every night,
Okay.
right? I really took take care of my sleep routine because I had times where I couldn't sleep at all. And it was getting my whole life all messed up because I couldn't focus, I couldn't work very well. So I try to take care of that part, right?
Okay.
I've been trying to include little things during the week that I actually enjoy to do, not just work, because we always work, take care of the house, you know, do the things that we actually need to do and have to do, but we don't take care of the things we actually enjoy to do, right? So I've been trying to put that in my schedule at least once a week, and I'm gonna, I don't know, for an hour, I'm gonna sit down on the couch and watch whatever TV show I like, or I'm just gonna read a little bit, or just gonna, I like puzzles too, right? So I'm just gonna build a puzzle. So that I try to do it very often.
So do you have a routine? Wake up and go to bed at the same time. I second that one. And do something that you love, I guess, or that you like for like smell. I try to do that during nap time always. I try to divide like half an hour for house chores, but half an hour for me. Even if it's just
Yes.
scrolling on my phone, which many people will say that sucks and you shouldn't be doing that. But if it's something that I like, and watching like reels is my thing for half an hour, let's do it.
And that's peace of mind, you know, that's mental health. So yes.
Okay, whatever works.
Mhm.
Okay, and well, one last thing I want you to tell everyone that's watching about your services. I know that you're a health coach, but how do you work? I asked you the last time that we saw each other, but I want everyone to know, how can a sleep coach, or how can you help on their lives? What services do you have? How do you work? So just tell us a little more about what you do.
I work online, like I have virtual services. I can see clients one-on-one, and I can help them like building healthy habits, or if you have like chronic conditions like diabetes or high cholesterol, triglycerides, or thyroid problems, or you know, hormone issues. Sometimes I can help them with that. Losing weight, it's also part of the equation, but it should never be like your main goal, you know, because when you gain weight, it means that there's some other bunch of things going on inside your body. So I don't focus specifically on the weight issue, but I can help you out, like cleaning your habits and cleaning the way you eat, and maybe including exercise in your routine, stress management, you know, like I help with all of that. And
Okay.
I also have an ebook that I sell through my Instagram page. And sometimes I do workshops too.
Okay, that's so nice. And I love that you have a medical background. I always, when I do like look for a nutritionist or a health coach, I love that they have a medical background, because then I if I have some questions about my health or about labs or about how I'm feeling, I feel like it's a more complete like diagnosis, or like I don't know, like they can see your whole
Yeah, it's a more clear view.
yes, of everything. It's not just about eat this, eat that, and lose those few pounds and you're good, right? You need something else. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Are there anything else that you would like to add? This is very useful. I think a lot of moms will identify with this. Not just moms, but everyone, because these LullaBy Talks are not supposed to be just for moms, but for any woman that also happens to be a mom. So thank you. Anything else that you want to add?
You can just see me on look up my name on Instagram is Andrea.Vasquez.wellness, and whatever I can help you with, all about it.
Thank you. And I'll be sharing your social media accounts in this post. You can watch this video on my YouTube channel, and I'll be sharing her information so you can contact her. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.